Hey, welcome to Pilot Lounge. I'm Paul Harrop. You're here in my study with me, and joining us from Utah is Stan and Allen Macbean from Utah by Air. They are a father and son that do some pretty spectacular air-to-ground photography out there. Welcome, guys.
Oh, welcome. Thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank you.
So I know you're sitting there in front of one of my favorite airplanes, the Cessna 170B. I believe it's a B model you guys have.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, it's a 1952.
Nice. So tell me what it is you guys do with that 170B.
We uh we fly it a lot. We do aerial photography, and that includes a lot of different things. Lots of air to ground, like you mentioned. Lots of stuff for the construction industry. Lots of stuff for mapping type purposes. Lots of stuff for guys buying and selling major, shopping centers, retail centers, stuff like that. But our favorite part is the scenic stock stuff that we shoot. Really pretty pictures of. We just live in such an amazing place here in Utah. We have 5 national parks. We've got deserts, mountains, red rock, everything in between, and that's our favorite thing. Is we shoot those and sell those for stock purposes or for display prints or limited edition prints, that kind of thing.
Don't forget we put a calendar out each year too as well
Oh yeah.
for some of our clients, and we use a lot of those pictures in the calendars.
Oh, very cool. Well, Stan, how did you guys get started into this?
Well, that's a real good question. I learned to fly way back in 1980, and I was a commercial photographer at the time, doing a lot of different kinds of things, mostly a lot of product photography and advertising kinds of things. And when I learned to fly, it just kind of became a natural thing that I wanted to take pictures out of the plane. And we did that for a number of years. I did that myself for a number of years, just serving some local clients that needed pictures of their businesses and that sort of thing. And then a few years later, Alan came into the business, and we went out and did a couple of aerial shoots, and he got interested in flying, and so he got his license. And after that happened, we decided we were going to concentrate a little bit more on aerial photography and let some of the other commercial stuff we were doing just sort of go along as it would. And we bought our first airplane, a little Cessna 140. Right, yeah.
A little Cessna 140. It's a little tight when you're 6'3".
Yeah.
It was fine for me. I don't know what he's talking about.
So how do you shoot out of a smaller Cessna like that?
Very carefully.
Yeah. No, we had, the old Cessnas have that little weird little handle that opens the window and only opens about this far. And we just disconnected that handle and found if we just kind of trimmed the airplane a little nose high, the window would just stay right up against the wing and give us a nice big area to shoot out of.
Yeah, Bernoulli helped us out with that, doesn't it?
Yeah. He does some nice stuff.
So, I guess, what's it like being able to combine a career of photography and then obviously had the interest in aviation and became a pilot, and now the two careers have firmly merged into a very unique niche with your business, Utah by Air. That's got to be a lot of fun to get out there and fly and make stunning images.
It's the best part of the job. Days where we're going to fly, we're pretty excited. Our goal a long time ago when we started really pushing aerial photography was to try to figure out how we could make our clients pay for our habit. And so we've kind of found how to do that, and it works really well for us. And
that's great.
Yeah, the aerial things we do are just so much more fun than being stuck in a studio. Not that that's bad if any of our clients are watching, but we'd much prefer to be out flying the airplane. Like I said earlier, we live in such an incredible place, and seeing it from the air just is a real blessing. We just love it.
So what kind of flying goes into getting these shots? Is it kind of like a mapping grid, or what do you do to be able to put the camera in the sight line to get what you need?
Well, it depends on what we're doing. Obviously, the mapping photography is usually straight down. We've actually got a hole in the bottom of the plane that works pretty well for that. We've also rigged up a system that we can shoot from the strut to get us out a little bit to the side and get us away from the exhaust stream that we were having a little trouble with. But when we're shooting scenics and things, we have put a little photo window in the back seat of the plane right behind the pilot, And so that opens up and it gets us behind the strut far enough that that's not usually a problem. And on that side of the plane, the pilot and the photographer are both looking at the same thing pretty, from the same angle. And so it makes it kind of nice to be able to shoot out of that same side of the plane that the pilot's on instead of the other side, which is what we did when we first started.
Yeah, I always preferred when I was getting my certificate, when I was practicing turns around a point, I always preferred them to the left versus the right.
Yeah, it's easier. You can see what you're doing. When we do our biennial flight reviews, turns around a point, we nail those.
I bet.
We've done so
Plenty
many
of that.
millions of circles, and that's really what we do. We'll circle something, and get it from all different angles, and then we'll move on to the next thing. It's kind of fun, but you do a lot of circles.
What kind of camera do you use?
Right now we're using a Canon 5D SR, the 50 megapixel camera.
Okay, so
we use other
holding it up.
when we need it. Handheld, yeah. The trick is, we have the whole opening in the window, but you don't want to have the camera out in the slipstream, so you kind of want to keep it in. You can, but you tend to get a little vibration on it. So the trick is to not get so excited that you're sticking the camera out the hole, and then you get back and your images are all blurry. But it's not that bad. And we've got, a wide array of lenses for doing whatever it is we need to do, from far above stuff when we're circling over national parks to, wider angle stuff when we're doing, things that are a little bit closer.
What's the division of attention to the aeronautical factors to the mission? How do you make sure that you divide your attention when you're the one flying?
Well, that's one of the reasons why we like to fly with both of us, with two people. One of us is flying, make sure that we're flying the airplane safely and not doing anything dumb, watching for traffic, while the other one can focus on the aerial photography. And then before the mission, we check all the all your NOTAMs and for traffic and for anything else that might be happening in the area we're going to. Often, especially up around Salt Lake City, you're talking to the tower guys first to get permission to fly in and out, so they know you're coming.
So I'm going to ask one of the most difficult questions I ever have as a journalist, and I'm going to ask each of you. We'll start with you, Stan. What is your favorite thing to fly over in the state of Utah?
Boy, that's a tough question to answer. We have such great scenery in the state that there's a lot of areas that are really kind of picturesque and fun to fly over. But I think one of my favorite areas is what we call the Green River. It's a tributary to the Colorado River and meets up with it in southern Utah just before it gets into Lake Powell. But as you follow the river down from the town of Green River, it goes through some of the most amazing canyons with just beautiful scenery. And there's actually an airstrip right in the bottom of the canyon called Mineral Canyon. It's really a beautiful place, and it's nestled in between 1,000-foot cliffs at the bottom of the canyon right by the river. And it's just a great place to fly and see things. Just amazing rock formations and amazing, the river just kind of snakes through these canyons, and it's just an amazing place to fly.
I agree with you completely on that. I've had the pleasure of going into Mineral Canyon, and it is just gorgeous. All right, Alan, what's your favorite spot? And there's it's okay if it's the same answer.
Well, it was the same answer, but I'm going to change it.
All right.
As I was thinking about it, I think the shoreline of the Great Salt Lake right now is probably my favorite. It used to be I hated to fly up there because it's just a big, lake. But the water gets low and the shoreline changes every single time. And you get the craziest looking designs and features along the side of the shore. It's super salty. Weird things grow in it. The north end is pink because they separated it years ago when they put a railway across, and it's way more salty than the south end. And you get this crazy pink-looking tentacles that go up onto the white, salty beach, and it looks like you're in a different world. It's kind of crazy, and it's never the same every time you fly over. It's always different.
Well, you guys are certainly in a beautiful state to be in the business you're in. I mean, I don't know that I've found an ugly part of Utah, from Moab and Mineral Canyon down there in the south, and of course, even the man-made stuff around Salt Lake, the spiral jetty. I mean, what an incredible gift to get to fly out there.
Well, it's actually really ugly. Don't ever come out
here. You don't want it to be Idaho'd, where everybody finds out how pretty it is and shows up.
No, Idaho's beautiful. Fly up there. Take all your airplanes up there, enjoy it, and stay out. No, we really are lucky. There's a few ugly places, but we try not to tell people about it.
All right, we'll keep those hush up. Well, Stan and Allen Macbean. Actually, what we got to mention, you guys aren't the only pilots in your family. Our coworker here at AOPA, Brian, your other brother, he's a pilot as well. Is any other Macbeans fly?
No, that's
the
it.
three of us.
And Brian's pretty much dead to us. So
Wow. Well, I'm not touching that at all. But
he used to work with us, and then he went out and got a real job, and
Well-
they got a job with me. So
well, we appreciate him being here. He works hard for us in our AOPA Aviation Finance, but it's cool to see a flying family and just the stunning images you guys make. I've always enjoyed following you on social media. How can people see your stuff?
you can go to our website. That's www.utahbyair.com. Follow us on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitter. Same thing, Utah by Air.
Fantastic. Well, Stan and Allen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and chatting with us here on Pilot Lounge.
Yeah, no problem, Paul.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Unsurprisingly, we have lots of time right now, so
I hear you. I hear you. We all do, and this is a good thing to do, to get together and we'll at least talk about flying if none of us are able to actually get up there and do much of it ourselves.
sounds good. Hey, we appreciate the call.
Sure, guys. Take care.